What is up, my sunlight samurais, my andronauts, alpha energy males? Let's talk about vitamin A on testosterone. It's extremely important for increasing LH, testosterone production, and optimizing our hormones and feeling amazing. Let's dive in. Vitamin A on testosterone, the first one is LH. So vitamin A increases testosterone by restoring Leydig cell sensitivity to LH. Right? So if you have low vitamin A, you will have low sensitivity. Here you can see LH, testosterone, vitamin A deficiency. LH remains the same, but testosterone is low. In a vitamin A sufficient state, testosterone production is much higher because of enhanced sensitivity to LH. This is what we want. We don't want massive amounts of LH. We want to be sensitive to it so that we can actually produce optimal amounts of testosterone. Right? And then let's talk about vitamin A on testosterone specifically. So steroidogenic acute regulated protein, STAR, is the first rate-limited enzyme in testosterone production. It transports cholesterol into the mitochondria of the Leydig cells, where it's converted to pregnenolone by the P450-SCC enzyme. So vitamin A promotes both of these enzymes, STAR and P450-SCC, not just in the testes, but also the adrenals, glial cells in the brain, and the epithelial cells, which is the skin cells. And so when you don't have enough vitamin A, the STAR enzyme becomes a little bit dysfunctional. It doesn't transport in as much cholesterol as needed. And then when you get vitamin A, it optimizes, it upregulates STAR. So you can transport in more cholesterol is converted to pregnenolone, converted into testosterone. And then when removing the vitamin A receptor, or XR alpha, in animals resulted in a 40% decrease in STAR expression and steroid biosynthesis. So you need that vitamin A signaling to create testosterone. And also, interestingly, the skin is also a highly androgenic organ which requires vitamin A to produce hormones such as testosterone. In elderly and diseased individuals, STAR mRNA is decreased and subsequently testosterone provided by vitamin A helps to restore skin STAR and androgen production. So you can see with age, STAR goes down, and vitamin A supplementation, or consuming from diet, my preference, helps to restore STAR expression, can help to prevent that drop in testosterone. So animals consuming a retinol, basically vitamin A, deficient diet got testicular shrinkage. Vitamin A could regulate Leydig cell differentiation, converting progenitor Leydig cells into functional Leydig cells, meaning more functional Leydig cells are produced with adequate vitamin A. So you can actually optimize Leydig cell function. Retinol is such a powerful testosterone and growth promoter that when vitamin A and iron are given during puberty in short stature boys, they had the same growth results as when given oxandrolone, which is a steroid after 12 months. That's pretty crazy anabolic effects that you can get from vitamin A. All right, so vitamin A and cortisol, we don't want too much cortisol. It's going to make us feel depressed, low motivation, lots of bad stuff. This is an excess amount of cortisol, right? So cortisol is deactivated by 11-beta-HSD2, which uses NAD, to cortisone. On the flip side, cortisone is converted to the active cortisol by 11-beta-HSD1. So the two ways that we can minimize cortisol is we can upregulate the enzyme 2, and we can minimize number 1. So vitamin A can help to lower cortisol by reducing 1 expression. So this 11-beta-HSD1 becomes upregulated with age and disease and contributes to the anxiety, depression, fatty liver, insulin resistance, muscle wasting, Alzheimer's disease, etc., etc. So vitamin A helps to control cortisol as we age, and especially during stressful conditions. So here you can see the conversion. The enzyme 2 deactivates, the enzyme 1 activates, and vitamin A inhibits this excessive activation to cortisol, keeps us in a moderate cortisol state, which is really good. Vitamin A on thyroid hormones. So low levels of vitamin A can lead to suboptimal levels of thyroid hormone production. So a vitamin A deficiency interferes with the pituitary thyroid axis by increasing the synthesis and secretion of TSH in the pituitary gland. It increases the size of the thyroid gland, might eventually lead to goiter. It reduces iodine uptake by the thyroid gland and aggravates thyroid dysfunction caused by iodine deficiency. And it impairs the synthesis and iodination of thyroglobulin, which is a precursor to thyroid hormones, and it impairs the conversion of T4 into T3. So we end up with more TSH, less T4 production, and less conversion into T3. Basically, that's leading to hypothyroidism and cold intolerance. So here was an interesting study where they supplemented people with a 25K IU of retinol palmitate for 3 months, and this led to a decrease in TSH and T4 and an increase in T3. So the drop in T4 is because of better conversion into T3. You can see TSH before it was 3, it dropped to 2. T3 before was 1.8, it went up to 3, quite impressive. And T4 was 123 and dropped to 95. So not like magnificent, spectacular changes, but it was decent changes for sure. So don't supplement vitamin A, but eat vitamin A-rich foods. So dairy, eggs, and beef liver, or just liver in general, is a fantastic source of vitamin A. It's going to help to optimize your testosterone and thyroid function. All right, so vitamin A and dopamine, we want to feel good. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people that I spoke to, and when I eat liver, I just feel good. You feel motivated and driven. You have good energy. So vitamin A increases dopamine sensitivity by increasing dopamine D2 receptor. Low D2 can lead to slow movement, low energy, reduced well-being and happiness, and cognitive decline. Dopamine also helps to lower prolactin. So drugs that help to lower prolactin are dopamine D2 agonists. So greater D2 sensitivity can help to better regulate your prolactin. So therefore, you can basically assume that when you increase your vitamin A levels in the body, you will get better thyroid function, better dopamine signaling, lower prolactin, and you're just going to feel better overall. So drop in the comments like how you're feeling when you're eating like liver and when you're supplementing vitamin A. So vitamin A on estrogen and prolactin. So retinol and all-trans-retinoic acid, the active form of vitamin A, significantly inhibited aromatase in a concentration-dependent manner. So if you don't have enough vitamin A, you could go over to a slightly more estrogenic state. So you want to make sure you get enough vitamin A. Vitamin A inhibits estrogenic-like effects by interfering with the estrogen receptor signaling at the estrogen receptor element level. So not only does it lower estrogen production, but it also inhibits excessive expression or action of the receptor. And then vitamin A also downregulates the prolactin receptor expression as well as function. So this might help to improve your mood and sexual function, increase your libido. So even with slightly higher levels of prolactin, it doesn't feel like you have high because your vitamin A has downregulated the prolactin receptor. And then lastly, plant versus animal vitamin A. So vitamin A from animal sources are directly absorbed, utilized, and stored, whereas the vitamin A from plants need to be converted to retinol by the liver first before it can be used. So our bodies aren't very good at this conversion. The ratio is usually about 12-1 or even worse. So especially under stressful conditions and disease, we convert very little of that vitamin A into the active form of vitamin A. And very often people will start to get yellow and orange. You will see their hands and feet. They will start to look more orange because of the accumulation of the beta-carotene in their tissue. They can't convert it. So you need vitamin B12 and proper thyroid function to convert beta-carotene into the retinol so your body can actually use it. Right, so in summary, vitamin A demands in the body increases when you exercise intensely, you eat more protein, you want to increase your testosterone, you want to improve certain health conditions like dandruff, vision, skin, etc., and also as vitamin D levels increases. Vitamin A is extremely important to be an alpha energy male for increasing LH, sensitivity in the testes, increasing testosterone specifically, increasing dopamine, lowering excess estrogen, and lowering prolactin sensitivity. You need that vitamin A. And one of the best foods is just liver. Like if you could just eat liver on a consistent basis, you will have more than vitamin A to give you all of these benefits. Don't supplement, eat. The food contains all of the cofactors and many other benefits that you will never be able to get from a supplement. All right, so I hope this video was helpful and emphasized the importance of vitamin A. Now, obviously, don't go bonkers with a supplement or eat like a pound of liver per day. Maybe if you have a severe deficiency, but otherwise, I don't think that's a good idea. Do it in moderation. It will give you all of the benefits. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful, and we'll check you in the next one. Cheers, guys.